Hello, it is Monday, September 6th, and boy, do we have a lot to discuss. This is Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast. That theme is a bop. Okay, so Tiffany is HOH again, and let's just jump to it. Alyssa and Xavier are the initial nominees for eviction this week. And now let's just go because there's so much to get into with this whole thing. And I don't even know where to start. Super happy to see Alyssa and Xavier, but I guess I want to say that there was a lot circling around, Miss Tiffany winning over Kyland, this, that, and the other thing. I have to say, right out of the gate, I was totally fine with Miss Tiffany taking this one because, again, Kyland, I think he's too much of a wild card. And why does he get to have 3 HOHs under his belt? And but she can't have 2, even though her first one was kind of a flaw to begin with. So I don't know. Wasn't mad at her for it. What did we think about that? Miss Tiffany staying up there longer than Mr. Kyland? Yay, nay.
So I don't know. I understand the risks of Kyland winning, but it's like I was saying to you guys the other day, I don't necessarily think he would have turned on the cookout any sooner. I know that he is kind of a wild card, but I still think that he would have stayed true to the cookout until 6. I think that for either Xavier or Tiffany to win this week was not a good decision because we're only down to 2 cookout members and they're each other's person. So it's so dangerous to be put in that position because you never know what could happen with vetoes or if there's some crazy power, anything could happen. I don't think it was smart for either of them to go up this week to win HOH.
Oh God. This was such a tough call. As I'm sitting there watching it, I'm I don't know, because you hear them all talking about the plan, but I do understand why Tiffany went for it, because I do feel at this stage of the game, the goal is clear. Obviously, get the 6 members of the cookout to the final 6, and they have the power to do that. They have all of the advantage to do that. They have this huge majority. And I feel once Azza and Big D went down, because I think those were the 2 that were kind of discussed as they would have the easiest time of going after Claire or Alyssa. Once they were both down and it was just Tiffany and Kyland, I felt I was not upset at all that Tiffany decided to go for the win. Because I feel when we get to the cookout, that final 6, each one of them is going to be competing and going to be trying to have the best resume. If there's 6 people in the house and Kyland has 3 HOHs, that's huge. Yes. I feel I don't blame Tiffany at all for stepping in and stopping that.
It is, though, also 3 people that Kyland has now pissed off. Let Kyland be the one to get the blood on his hands. Let's say Xavier wins HOH and he puts up Claire. Claire wins veto. Now Alyssa has to go up. That's blood on his hands. Tiffany, wins HOH. Let's say maybe Alyssa wins veto, pulls herself off. Claire goes up. Now that's blood on her hands. Let Kyland be the one to have to take the shot and screw somebody over and piss them off. Otherwise, now you're turning on your own. No matter what, there's so easily a potential that you have to turn on either the cookout or your own person. And that's just bad jury management.
Yeah, see, I don't disagree with any of that train of thought. I guess for me, it's just more, if I'm looking to the end of this game, this is the person that now will have 3 HOH wins with however many more to come. And I only have 1 that was overthrown. So at that point, I don't know that I want to let Kyland have it. Blood on your hands.
I can see both sides. It's just, I don't know. For me, I don't know if it was smart.
I just have this feeling that if we had seen Tiffany up there with basically anybody else, I think she would have dropped. I think if it was a Big D or an Azza or even an Xavier, I could see her dropping. But I think the fact that it was Kyland is the reason that she felt she couldn't. And I think that's the only reason why she didn't, personally. But
I agree with that. Yep. I think that's why she didn't. Sorry, I'm also trying to get this graphic together. Like there was something I really wanted to include in this, and I had forgotten about it until you started talking to me. Yeah, so it was another one of those alliance maps.
Yes, yes,
You know, I
yes.
love so much, and we haven't gone back to those in like a little while.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about it, let's have a look. See, so here it is. Ah, it's so small. It's so small. We actually see the background now. But so now
Wow.
we got Tiffany and Hannah. Ta-da! Final two. We've always knew about that. Now this
Uh-huh.
CMD final three. CMD. What do we think that stands for? All right, guess we'll find out later. Snake eyes. Guess that's dead in the water. Sloppy seconds. I think that's fun and exciting. Something could come from that, especially since we know we've got a double coming up. So who knows? Obviously the cookout, like old news. Final four. Yeah, okay. This Daza. All right. That sounds like a flaw. I mean, like literally, they are the only two people in the house that have won nothing. So, I don't know. Good luck, Daza. Now we've got this final three deal. Kylan is just, I mean, he's just really just did it in every time, isn't he? He's just.
I think that, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like that final three deal is the only one that's real, though.
Ooh, wait, hold
know?
on. So you think that's the? You don't think? Okay. Now, from some of the things that we've seen in the feeds, I don't want to get into spoilers yet, but there's an argument to be made for some of these other ones.
Sure.
Yeah, we can get into that in a minute. But yeah, good times. Yeah, so I don't know about Kylan. I just feel like everything that he's doing. Let's go to Xavier first, because Xavier making all these little comments about how you know. I know.
He was annoying me this week.
I know. I'm having some real problems with Mr. Xavier these days.
Not a fan favorite right now.
Yeah, really not feeling him anymore. After he was basically saying in the last episode that he thinks that he's put in more work than Miss Tiffany, which I think is like ridiculous. Part of me understands some of why Xavier is upset if we are to believe that he's actually being truthful. Like, because he keeps saying that he's been throwing all these things. And, Tommy keeps trying to act like, like Xavier definitely has thrown these things. Or we've seen him throw them. No, we've seen him tell us he threw it. We don't really know anything about that. Okay? Like, do we really know that Xavier's been throwing these things? And, like, everything was all well and good with this plan when you were going to be the last one left with your person. But now that Tiffany kind of tried to make it that way, now it's not good. I don't know. Just kind of think you're manipulating things.
Yeah.
My only thing is like, because I was saying before, I don't fully know where I land. I both agree and disagree with both of them, because it does kind of feel like Tiffany right now is doing the thing that she was criticizing Kylan for doing all last week. Which like puts kind of a sour taste in my mouth. It's like, I don't know why you were so against Kylan for going out of his way to protect his person, when now as soon as the tables turned, you were like, no, I'm going to do it. But like, since I was the one who made the plan, it's okay now because I can do it. It's like, well, you did kind of spend all last week bashing him for doing the same thing.
I do think it's a little different, and I totally agree. When we saw how things were going with Tiffany and everything, like I definitely didn't have the best feeling about it, and I kind of felt like, is this a little hypocritical? But part of me felt like it's a little different, just in that, okay, there are still two targets in the house that are non-cookout members, right? Kylan tried to pull his move after him and SB had already been nominated, not once, but twice, the second time by the secret HOH, and the veto comp had already been played. Like, all right, pretty much everything is settled for this week. Stop trying to, ruffle feathers now. Whereas in this case, this is the very beginning of the week. This is the HOH comp. We know there are still two targets out there, and I felt like Tiffany wants this HOH, and because of having that other reason of trying to keep Kylan from getting that third HOH, that's why I didn't feel quite the same about what Tiffany did as compared to Kylan. But I agree that it's not the best feeling with what she's trying to do here.
It's just like, because she was so vocal about, well, everyone's going to have to go through this. That was the plan. Everyone has to go up with their person and their person has to go. And now all of a sudden that it's her turn. And I think you guys even said it in your last podcast that I wasn't in. Like, I think Kyle was making that argument of like, well, if it's Tiffany's turn, is Tiffany going to just let it happen? I don't think so. And we're seeing that she's kind of not.
Although I don't know that her winning this HOH necessarily means that she's not willing to go after her person. I know she made some comments like that in this most recent episode, but a few weeks ago, we were literally watching her decide whether or not she wanted to try to save Derek X over Claire while they were both on the block together. So I don't know how much of this is necessarily being like, no, I'm going to be selfish and keep just my person. All of you people get rid of yours.
I also personally don't really see what the issue is. There's only 2 non-cookout members left. The plan is for both of them to leave before 6. Who cares what order it happens in? We're going to lose them anyway. Like, why is it such a big thing? I don't know.
It's a big thing because Tiffany and Xavier are not planning on getting rid of theirs. That is why. You know, they are the head of the cookout, and I really do believe that they expected each of them individually, not sharing with the other office, but expected to keep their person until the very end. So when we start firing shots internally, I have a person that's outside of this. And that is what Xavier was upset about. He was upset that he was going to lose that advantage, because if he got Claire out this week, of course, because they don't think this is a double, he now gets to keep ALYSSA. Doesn't matter what the hell is going on to cook out. He is the only one with a +1.
I have also heard that he, like on feeds, I don't know if it was Cam talking or if he was talking to somebody, that he was planning on potentially throwing the next HOH to ALYSSA and having her getting out a cookout member. So like, he doesn't have the blood on his hands, but he still now has his person who is being the person taking the shot.
And there you go. There you go. And that is the benefit of keeping your +1 up until 7.
Yeah.
Because the whole goal was to get the cookout to 6. I don't have to start the shot firing because my +1 can do it. And he is annoyed that Tiffany stepped in with the kibosh on that. And that was going to be her with that extra advantage. That's what he's mad about. And that is what's annoying to me. I get you being mad because it didn't go the right way. Like, of course, like anytime you're playing a game, like if we're playing Uno and you make me draw a 2, I'm going to be very annoyed. But like, it's like, so like, I get why you're mad. But like, let's just take a step back here and like be totally objective and be like, you're just mad because the advantage did not fall in your lap. That's all. And I'm over it. I'm over it.
You know, I wonder if part of this, because obviously the goal is get the 6 to final 6, but I now that we're so close to that, right? I wonder if they ever really expected to really reach this goal. Do you know, like obviously that's the goal, but do you think in the back of Tiffany's mind, she was thinking, you know, what's the likelihood that all 6 of us are going to make it there? So I'll be able to keep Claire around, and vice versa for Xavier with ALYSSA, thinking, you know, this is a long game. There's a lot of people in this house. It would be awesome to get this 6 to the final 6, but I've got ALYSSA. So if one of these people leaves, you know, and now that they're so close and they have the numbers and it's about to happen, I wonder if they're kind of thinking in their mind, like, I actually have to let this person go now. And I wonder,
here we are. It's go time.
Yeah. And I wonder if some of these sour grapes from Xavier are like because of that, because he kept saying things that didn't really make that much sense to me. Like, for one thing, he was saying when Tiffany got her HOH room, he was like, this is supposed to be Azza or Big D's moment. That's what he said.
Yeah, like,
and
why are you playing the martyr all of a sudden? Like, why are you acting like you're doing this because now it's somebody else's turn?
I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Competition was any situation where Big D was going to be having a moment, okay?
This also, like, why are you...
seconds, okay?
Why are you making it like, no, I'm upset for like the good of other people? No, Angel, you're upset for you.
And it's like, he's saying this now, and it's like, that wasn't even possible. The last 2 people in the competition were Kylan and Tiffany. So of course this was never going to be Azza or Big D's moment. And then another thing that bothered me that he kept saying, honestly, was that he kept bringing up, oh my God, this is my third week in a row that I'm going to go on the block. I'm livid. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, first of all, who cares? You have the numbers. You're not going anywhere. Second of all, it's not like you're out here taking bullets for your team so that none of them have to go up. The first time he went up was the roulette, totally random. The second time he went up was as a punishment in that veto comp that he won,
which was his choice.
He chose.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
This is only the first week that he's actually been put on the block. Like actually,
not to mention how many times was Brittany on the block? Like you can't really make that argument. Like
exactly. Not to mention that you were put on the block as part of the plan. Like this was the one that was always supposed to be. So like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
But that's
a lot of
feelings
cringy
on XAVIER.
Yeah, I'm over him. He can go during the double. Any double is fine. Sooner the better. I mean, I was never a big XAVIER fan, like to begin with.
I know you weren't.
And I don't really care. I just feel like he just kind of walks around acting like he's kind of better than everybody else. After he dismissed Kyland, and for some reason I excuse Tiffany in that, but I don't excuse. I mean,
I would argue that you excuse Tiffany because Tiffany has been so like hands-on in everything, like actually making moves, and XAVIER is like, depending on how you look at it, playing a much more passive game.
Mm-hmm. And I can be honest enough to say that I also excuse Tiffany because I like her. So like, that's what we do. I don't want to rush things. I would love to get into spoilers.
Well,
before we do that, is there anything else that we gotta?
So I actually did. I wanted to just bring up one other thing.
Okay, that's why I said it first. Go ahead.
But I am excited to get to the spoilers. But I just wanted to ask you guys.
I'm so excited.
I know. And I know you guys actually know more than I do currently.
Well, because it was Labor Day. And I just found myself doing nothing but like watching feeds and then being on Twitter, hitting refresh, just like reading things. And I'm telling you, it's
those Twitter updaters are where it's at. Like, thank
you. Oh
my
gosh, like so much credit to them. Like Joker's BB updates, anybody doing BB updates. Like seriously, thank you so much. So the people who cannot like watch the feeds live, like thank goodness today was a holiday, the bank is closed, so she was home, but otherwise like I'm sitting at work just scrolling, and I'm so grateful.
They're really the MVP. They're the MVPs of BB season for sure.
Screenshots, everything. Like honestly, I want to start. I want to start just like shouting out people in our captions or something because they keep me going.
No, like all of the Twitter updaters, Taryn every morning. Like I
actually all right. I don't usually listen to Taryn. I just because I don't want.
That's a bad take.
Well, the reason it is a bad take, but the reason why I don't do it is I don't want anybody to think that we're copying. So I try to like not listen to anybody else except for Hey Julie. All right, Hey Julie is my favorite BB podcast. I don't care who knows. I love them so much. But other than them, like I don't like to listen to anybody else. I want us to be like unique.
That's fair.
That's right. I'll try to be. Yeah. But the conversation that happened on the live feed update today with Taryn and the other guy who I don't actually know was like a fantastic conversation, just centered around.
I actually haven't watched today's, which is very upsetting.
Yeah, no, today was really good because it became a conversation about like race and the impact of the cookout and everything. Something that the three of us have done offline, but yeah, really, really good. Definitely should go back and watch that. Like it was really good.
Yeah. But yeah, so. I know you guys know more than I do currently, but I just wanted to ask what you guys thought of that conversation. And obviously, she ended up going on the block anyway. But what did we think of that conversation with between ALYSSA and Tiffany? That was all about jury votes and jury management and all that stuff. That conversation to me, I was like, wow, ALYSSA she's going hard right now. I just wanted to know what you guys thought of that whole conversation.
I think that was an amazing pitch. Like she really did her homework and she sat down and said, all right, here's the facts. Here's what we got. Like that's really hard to say no to when you really spell it out like that. I think she did a great job with that pitch. I think in any other circumstance that absolutely gets her out of hot water.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I just really wanted to do that. I had mixed feelings on the pitch. I thought the pitch was great. I was here for it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it was well informed and it was smart and it was very well thought out. The appearance of her with the hoodie and the sunglasses, I feel like did her a disservice. I feel like it disconnects you from your audience. And it makes it come off as less genuine, even though you are presenting facts that were like very good. I don't know. As much as I enjoyed Sarah Beth and her heart-shaped sunnies, but I felt like she used them when she needed to because she didn't want people to see her eyes, right? Because she was in like the more vulnerable position. And yes, Alyssa is, but in that position, I felt like she was more vulnerable than when Sarah Beth did it. So because of that, like if you want to be a little bit more genuine, you have to let people see your eyes. And these are all like little things that are important that I feel like we missed in that conversation because now like we're always going to question how genuine you're being. So the Sunnies were a miss for me as far as the entire pitch, but I thought what you said was very smart.
Okay.
It's like watching that pitch to me made me like, and I know I've complained about this before, but like there are so many people online that are like, Alyssa's useless in this game. Alyssa's basically like furniture. She doesn't really do anything in here. And like, yeah, compared to some people, she is playing a little bit more passive of a game. But when she needs to, she knows what's up. Like she can sit there and be like, all right, this, like she games hard and she campaigns hard when she needs to. She just falls into the background when she doesn't have to say as much. And I don't think that's bad at all.
I think part of the reason she falls into the background also is because she's just not part of the dominating alliance. Like a few weeks ago, like we've even discussed how she was basically the brains between or behind her and Christian.
Yep.
So we're not really dealing with somebody who's stupid or doesn't really understand the game or doesn't play the game right.
I get so bothered when people dismiss her.
Disadvantage. Yeah, she's just, I don't know. I am very hardcore rooting for an Alyssa HOH during this double on Thursday.
I would love it. I'd love it.
Unless there's some way.
I mean, of course, obviously, like, yes, the cookout getting to 6 is amazing. Uh-oh.
Did we just spoil it? Well, there it is. Well, this is not going home. So there's the spoiler. And I really didn't mean to, but it just kind of went there.
I mean, technically, it still could have happened because I don't know.
Well, we're officially there. All right.
Now
we're
it didn't have to be a spoiler, but Kyle outed it as a spoiler.
Right. Now we're officially there because you could have been like, man, I'd love to see her win the veto.
You could have covered your tracks so easily, and you said, nope, I did this.
You know I don't do that.
That was so easy to cover.
I don't lie. I don't well. I don't anything. I was just so excited to continue the conversation. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I'm very sorry. But Alyssa does win. She wins the veto. Okay, so
wow.
Yeah, so she knows. So she knows what's going on. And that's why I'm saying I really would like to see an Alyssa HOH this week because she is the only one that can really shake things up.
Especially since, like, if Alyssa does win the HOH, there are no non-cookout members to put up anymore. No. She's going to have to take a shot and shake things up. She has
to, and that's what I'm saying.
There's no other option.
Yes, and I don't want and I think that because it's a double, it would be so much more exciting because there's no chatting. Like it just has to be the way she wants it, and I think that's going to be very yummy.
Now let me ask you. Let's say that does happen. Alyssa wins the HOH. She takes out a cookout member. Does it now become get Alyssa out and get the 5-5, or is it now all bets are off?
I think it depends on who goes. If she sends a guy out, I absolutely see Tiffany trying to bark up that tree again, and then like Hannah's going to go that way. Azza, well, it depends on who it is. It's not going to be Xavier, so Azza's not going to be there unless it's Big D. Now, if Kylan goes on Alyssa's HOH, I don't think anyone's going to care. I think that'd be totally fine. I don't know. Who's going to be mad about that? With the way the things stand now.
Oh God, it would be interesting because in those few minutes that you do have to like sort of meet with people and make decisions, I feel like the person that Alyssa's talking to is Xavier. So we're probably going to see if Alyssa were to win the HOH during that double eviction. I feel like we're pretty much going to see what Xavier's vision is for the cookout going forward, because I feel like for me personally, it's hard enough. I'd be like definitely relying on some people if I was like the HOH in a house on any week, but especially during a double eviction, I'd be like, what the hell do you think I should do?
Your
I have
brain
no
is
idea.
good. Yeah.
So like, I feel like it's going to be interesting to see if Xavier's like, man, put up Tiffany. Like, you know, it's going to be really wild.
What I'm hoping for from a situation like that is that maybe Alyssa will default to the whole like, right? Because what I feel like we're starting to see within the cookout and what people are discussing is like a male-female split now. All right, we're going back to basics. You know, this is what we know. If that's the case, is Alyssa gonna want to send home Tiffany, or is she gonna girl power it up? And that's why I went more towards Kylan.
I just
like big D as a pawn.
I don't know if I would see her going against Xavier because I feel like he's all she really has at this point. I don't think that she's going to want to piss off her one person. She's not really aligned enough with anybody else.
And if Alyssa's still there, do we think that Xavier will still prioritize Kylan in the same way, honoring this final three? Do we think it's possible? Because what I also saw, I didn't watch this on the feeds, but I read on one of these Twitter updates that Alyssa and Xavier plan to wear their Kings t-shirts on Thursday for the HOH competition. They want to be all cutesy. So if that's the case, like, do we think that Xavier will still prioritize Alyssa so low, knowing that shots are beginning to be fired within the cookout?
I mean, again,
could that be a good chance to get Kai out?
Like I said, he has been talking about wanting to throw to Alyssa and let her take a shot. So I think at this point, he's kind of already decided it's got to be what's best for my game and not the cookout at this point, I think.
Right, which now makes me kind of wonder what we're going to see here.
Oh, see, that's scary though. I don't know if that's smart for Xavier, because I feel like depending on what happens, I mean, if people find out that like Xavier was the mastermind of Alyssa, you know, taking the first shot into the cookout, that could mean that Xavier's the very next one out. You know, if people catch wind of that, so like that's definitely risky. That's very.
The fan base had a lot of feelings about it. As soon as he started talking like that, everybody was like, Xavier, seriously? Like, now, after all this time, now you're going to be like, you know what? Screw the plan. Like, this is about me now. People had a lot of feelings about it.
But this is what I mean. Of course he's saying this because he always wanted to be the last person standing with his person. And that is why this Tiffany thing annoyed him so much, because that was the fly in the ointment, you know. Yeah, really, really gross. We have a comment from Twitter.
Come on, Twitter.
Matt says spicy. Well, thanks, Matt. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this week. I really do feel like that we were heard as like fans. Like CBS said, okay, we got to stop this triple crap. Okay, they don't want it. They don't want it. Two doubles is far more exciting than a triple.
I think it's significantly better because we're at least going to see some like conversation between the two doubles of like there's going to be some kind of like fireworks somewhere rather than like out right when things start to get good. Like it's going to be a little bit more, especially since after Thursday, none of them are going to expect to see another double. So no one in their brain is going to be planning 2 moves ahead anymore.
Yum.
Like, right now, sure, they're saying in their head, all right, if there is a amazing. Right now they're saying like
couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Right now they're saying, you know, if there is a double, this is the plan. Sure, then the double's going to happen. None of them are going to be thinking, well, if there's another double, now we got to think 2 steps ahead again. They're going to be like, all right, we're done with the doubles.
Right.
So we might really see some scrambling.
Oh yeah, I want to see the scrambling. Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. You know what I really want to see on Thursday? I know I said I want to see Alyssa, and I do. But you know what I want to know more about? I want to see what Big D does. I just want to see what he does because I just feel like he's got this attitude about him. He's like, he just doesn't give a fuck what anybody else says. Like, he's just running around, just kind of doing his own thing. And while I have not been a huge Big D fan in the past, like, I don't know, he's been really being growing on me. And I'm super curious to see like what he would do with his HOH because I'm not completely convinced that ALYSSA would be it. Because let's not forget that ALYSSA took him down for that roulette crap.
Mm.
Okay, so maybe there's a kinship. Love to explore what that looks like.
I mean, we've been seeing him get more and more frustrated as the weeks go on. I don't think it's out of bounds that he might be like, you know what, forget it. Like, let's just get rid of Tiff and then like figure it out from there. You know?
She said, "I don't think it's out of bounds." This is just a really good use of that phrase. Not ever how I've used it, but I would going forward. It's really fun.
Oh, it's so wild.
What else can we? All right. What else did we see?
I mean, we're in spoilers now, so
I know we are exactly. We're in spoilers, so let's get into it. We know that Kai and Tiff slept together last night, right? Do we know that? Y'all know that?
yeah. I've seen a lot of discrepancy on what that exactly means.
Exactly. I don't know what it means. I can't.
I don't know if we'll ever know what that means, but
I saw that they were moaning and there was some groaning. I don't actually think that there
were some blankets over faces. There were some hands in
giggling.
places.
People had a good time. I understand.
Oh my!
But that doesn't mean that the unmentionables came down.
I have seen a lot of people being like, "Is this where the Sarah Beth irritation comes from? Like,
yes,
is this why you want her out so bad?"
That's why she wanted SB out so bad. Well, I mean,
wow.
Regardless of motivation, she wasn't part of the alliance, so she should go.
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
You know, after he was playing with her, that whole endurance comp and everything, not coming down, not coming off, and like that tension. Yeah, well, they released it, didn't they? But I do think that's interesting, like going forward, because I think that puts Kyland in an interesting position because based on who goes with this double coming up, based on who goes, I think that will decide where Kyland goes. As far as like what side he now wants to stand on. Like if we lose XAVIER or Big D on that side, then I think that he's going to try and side with the women. Even though I think that at that point he's probably at the bottom of that anyway, regardless of his canoodling with Tiffany.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know how real his alliances are with anything related to Tiffany. Because in my opinion, she's very much like, all right, yeah, I'll yes you to death, but I still don't trust you. So like you're still like on my radar, but as long as you're going to be here, I might as well make you think that we're aligned. But I think that it's more to his benefit to stay with the men. I think that they're more likely to be truer to that group.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they're more likely to be true to that group. I just don't necessarily, again, depending on how this goes, I'm not necessarily sure that that's the side that you want to be on. If we lose,
sure.
We're probably losing Claire, right? If we don't pull off this, because I did see some rumblings on the feeds that Kai, Hannah, and Tiffany were trying to do things to flip things on XAVIER. Did you see that too?
Oh, I didn't see that actually.
Yes, I was seeing that they were giggling about like possibilities like that. Although I did also see a tweet that had come after that people don't pay much attention to Tiffany's 3 a.m. plans because they never come to fruition, and she doesn't actually do that.
That's fair.
Yes, and this was something that was being discussed overnight, if I'm not mistaken. So there is that. But if we lose a man on Thursday, I just think that could kind of like change things a little bit. And I think that's part of why Kyland has set things up the way that he has.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me.
That's really interesting.
Matt's got some more comments. Here, let's go into them. My favorites coming in were Tiffany and SB. It was sad to see the way it went, and shit talk feeds on SB. I don't know what shit talking happened, and I'm sorry I missed it.
I mean, I assume he means Tiffany like going off about SB on like Cam Talks and stuff because she was really slamming Sarah Beth. Oh yeah, she hated her.
Oh, really? So I didn't know all that.
Well,
Oh,
she
she
did
hated Sarah Beth.
she did a whole dance in this last episode. When she was in the
I
bathroom.
mean, I knew it was a
SB's
dance. I
home.
just thought that was like a general victory thing. I didn't think it had anything. I
Oh,
didn't
like
think it was like
throughout the week,
subjective.
ever since like the Hannah thing happened and she kind of got on Tiffany's radar, and then it was like, they're a duo, we got to split them up. Like Tiffany was constantly talking about how much she didn't like SB on feeds.
Oh, okay. Listen, news to me. News to me.
No, she hated her.
And see, I liked Sarah Beth in a way. She wasn't a part of the
I
alliance
did.
that I was rooting for, but I didn't have a problem with her. I kind of
I was really rooting for SB until it started like getting down to the wire, and then like you started seeing like her attitude and her entitlement and her whatever coming out, and then it was like I'm starting to be a little less on board with you as your eviction draws nearer.
I know. The one thing I'll say about her is that I kind of take back some of the sass that I had about the fact that she wanted the $5,000 so bad, because like she was losing anyway, like so what? And like I definitely made a big joke about like her complaining, oh, it's my birthday, like please let me keep this money. You know what? It worked. She sure enough left that house at $5,000, and DX sure didn't. So, like, I don't know. Like, it was kind of like weak behavior in my mind, but at the same time, got her $5,000.
Sure.
And like, come on, really gonna be mad about that? You're gonna hate on her? I don't know.
It was the row your boat for me. That was the that was the
classic
moment.
Yeah, no, that was really good. I don't know. I'm an SB fan. I'll still be an SB fan. Glad she's gone. Like I didn't want her to win or anything, but like I did like her, and like I'd root to see her on another season. She could come back as part of a twist. Bring back like 4 vets or something like that. Yeah. I could have it. There's a lot of people from this season I wouldn't mind coming back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if not on this show, just seeing them elsewhere. Like there are a lot of people from this season that like I would just like to see play anything again.
Yeah, there's been some rumblings about DX and Hannah being on The Amazing Race. And,
I'd love that. I'd love to see like a Christian on like I feel like he would fare very well in the challenge.
And he gets to look at him more. We have another question from Matt. He wants to know who we're voting for America's favorite player.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh man.
My opinion on this has kind of changed. I had an opinion about this, but
That's a really hard question. I like so many people this season.
I know. Okay. Initially, I'll answer first because I'm super excited to get into it. I would have said Christian first because I just love him. Then it switched to DX, and I still think that's going to be my vote. But the way that Claire, so John, so what we didn't get into is that Tiffany last night told Claire that she's going up, and I mean she has since gone up. But Claire handled it with such class and such because Tiffany didn't flat out say like what is going on. She just said I was part of a larger alliance and I'm part of this and blah blah blah. But like Claire gets
not even that, like Tiffany also made it a very personal thing. Like for me, I do not want to send out a Black person on my HOH. She didn't let her know that there is an alliance and that's a plan. She made it like for me, for my personal game.
Yes.
And
yes.
We saw Claire was breaking my heart when she was like very upset. She was crying, but she was like, honestly, she's like, one of the main things that she said was like, I am so lucky to be a part of a final 8 like this because nothing like this has ever happened on this show. So like, it's just so cool to have been a part of a season where this is the end result. So like, yeah, I'm heartbroken that I'm getting evicted, but I'm just so glad to have been a part of a season like this.
Wow.
And that's kind of where I was going with this. DX was my favorite for America's favorite. But after this, like, I mean, I was always a Claire fan, but that really, for me, to kind of like set her apart a little bit. We'll see how we feel after a few more weeks because there's a lot of stuff still to happen. But.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, it's either DX, Claire, or Tiffany. I cannot decide between the three of them because they're all so strong for different reasons. I have no idea who I'm voting for.
Yeah, really hard.
Yeah,
really, really
it's
hard.
really
what about you,
hard.
John?
See, Claire's up there for me. I love Claire. I would love to vote for Claire for AFP. I'm just really enjoying watching Tiffany, all the things that she's doing this season. She's a strong player. You know, I think, what was it, Kyland even said today, like, you've won a mental comp now, you've won a physical comp. Like, she's played such a crazy social game. And I've just enjoyed like all the interactions because she can have arguments with people. She's very has really nice touching moments with people. I just think that she really has done it all this season, Tiffany. So those would probably be either Tiffany or Claire would probably be my choice right now. But
yeah, God. Yeah, Tiffany's definitely in the running. Tiffany's definitely in the running. I kind of feel like America's favorite should go to somebody who didn't win. So like, I kind of don't want to say Tiffany until I know that she's not like final two. I don't really like.
Sure, no, yeah, I get that.
I mean, if you're getting some money, like, forget it. Like, I want to know who's like.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I want to know who's at the end, and then like really decide. But yeah,
maybe Big D, you know.
Say like maybe Big D. Like,
he's so fun to watch.
He's fun to watch.
He's fun, and like, I know he hasn't won anything. I was really feeling for him in the episode. Like, you could see how down he was, like, because he definitely does give effort. You could just see how much like it was bothering him that like he's been trying so hard and he hasn't been able to get the win yet. I don't know. I could see myself ending up voting for him too. I mean, there's still so much time until we get to that point that like I feel like who knows what'll happen. But I can see myself
I'm not really ready to jump on the DF bandwagon yet, as far as like giving him 25K, but like I wouldn't put him on the other side of this.
I just want to see him get at least one thing on his resume, like anything, any win, anything. I just want to see him do something.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a win, because like some of these competitions, like, they're just not. If you're not suited for it, you're not suited for it. Some of them really are like really specialized. Like, he had no shot in Thursday's HOH. He didn't. Just like I wouldn't have a shot in something like that. Like, just not built for it. So comp wins are not necessarily like the most important thing to me, and like his social game definitely has been strong from the get this far. For people to like him the way that they do, so that certainly does count for something, because his name has not come out of really anyone's mouth, really. Or something, I guess. But once you get to the end, though, I kind of need to know that you did something. And he hasn't done anything. I mean, there's no big move that he can put his name on.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see him be able to have something to be like, this was my contribution. Like, I did this big thing that, like, influenced the game. Because, social game is all well and good. And, like, it is very hard to successfully play a floater game for that reason. You know, a lot of people have a hard time voting for somebody who hasn't really made the big moves. But I want to see him really pull out something.
Yeah, I just need you to influence something. I need you to be able to stand in front of us and say, like, okay, this would not have happened if not for me.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that. So like that's not really somebody that I want to give America's favorite to.
Would you ever start to like base a decision, even though we do get limited footage, but like based on what we see in the jury house, like if there's anybody that goes into the jury house and like seems like they're starting to sway people's opinions a certain way, like what if DF never wins anything, but he goes to the jury house and starts to seem like he's swaying some votes in a certain way, and like it's clear that he had an impact on who the winner was, let's say, like would that sway an opinion for you?
I guess it depends on. It depends on who and what he said, and like how far we had to go to get there. And I would need to know like something discernible to say that he is the one that made that difference in whatever hypothetical like we're presenting.
Right, and it's hard because we do get such limited actual footage of the jury house.
We do.
But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. Well, we'll see. There's so much to happen. Like we still have another 4 weeks
There
left.
really is so much game to be played.
Yes, there's a lot of people still left in this house, even though we still have 2 doubles. What I did notice about this schedule, I can actually like pull it up here. There's like, it looks like we have a week right before the finale where it's normal? Question mark? Question mark?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Matt has something spicy.
Spicy.
Spicy. I think it's significantly less impressive to be a floater in an alliance that was started on day 3. Well,
Sure. I'll give you
where's
that.
the lie?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Especially when the Alliance did really steamroll this game.
Right.
Right, and this is part of why we're now having this issue with like, do we really want to give like DF 25?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Is it really impressive that you just okay? Like I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm not trying to be like be crazy, be controversial. But like you're in this alliance because you're black. It's not because you played so well. You just happen to be black, so here you are. Not minimizing what's going on. They are playing it very, very well. But because it started on day 3, that is the reason. We knew nothing of you other than that, and that you look like a fun character. And it's like, so you are
Like
floating.
I
Just
will
like
give you
us.
I will give you now I don't think that this is the most likely outcome. But let's say that like Alyssa does win the HOH in the double, and Alyssa is now Xavier's person, and Alyssa makes it through to the end. Technically, Alyssa did play more of a floater game, but Alyssa was on the outskirts of the majority alliance. So it would be a lot, to Matt's credit, it would be significantly more impressive to see someone like Alyssa skirt through what was obviously stacked against her and make it there than it would for somebody who floated through the majority alliance.
Yes. I agree with that because she had a scrappier game. She didn't have as easy a come up as everybody else. So while she didn't win anything, her road to get there was not paved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
and she has
sure.
Xavier. She may have Xavier right now, but you could argue that she lost really her biggest ally in Christian weeks ago and has managed to scrape by. So like, it's not like she's had this easy time where she's floated by and nobody's noticed her. Like she was part of a showmance that was definitely heavily targeted by people in that house. Managed to, she lost Christian, but she managed to stay in the house. She, had somebody else on her side, and Xavier, who was in that majority alliance, that she was able to use that to her benefit and continue on. And so I would definitely be I'm very impressed, honestly, with Alyssa's game.
Right.
Yeah.
No, great. That was great. Thank you so much, Matt. We love this. So going into Wednesday, what are we looking at here? Well, we kind of know what we're looking at. We got Claire and Xavier. We've been seeing these rumblings, okay, about maybe Kai, Hannah, and Tiffany trying to like switch things up. We already know we don't have Alyssa's vote. Okay, so let's just assume these tweets are to be true. What do we have? We have Kai and Hannah voting to evict Xavier, again, assuming this is true. And we have, what do we have? So this is two. This is again, goodbye Xavier, and this side is goodbye, goodbye Claire. That is, this person would be who? This is Alyssa, because Alyssa's never going to vote against Mr. Xavier. So now, what do we have here? Who else do we have left? Big D. What do you think he's
DF?
Yeah.
I think DF would vote to get Claire out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. So that's 2-2. Now, who else did you say? Azza.
Azza's got a middle school crush on Xavier.
She does, but she is starting to play a little bit by herself. Do we think it's possible that she might say, you know what? Maybe Xavier is not my way to go, especially since he is now planning on this whole King's t-shirt thing with Alyssa. And we know Oz is very jealous. All right, I feel like she's a maybe. Leaning more towards probably getting Claire out. I know.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to make this happen.
I know, it's very fun to speculate. I don't know if I believe that there's actually a chance of
I
it
know.
happening.
It's like a complete waste of time. I know, but I want it so bad. I want it so bad.
That's the thing. Like, if we somehow got to the end of this week and Alyssa and Claire were still in that house, that means there were some serious fireworks in that house, which would be awesome.
Sure.
I just don't think we're going to see it. I just don't.
And that's why we really need to stay glued to the feeds, because like Wednesday night, there's going to be a lot to talk about. Obviously, there's going to be a lot to talk about on Thursday, but like there's going to be a lot that goes down between tomorrow and Wednesday. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good week.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm rooting for. I am just rooting for chaos. That's all I want. I want fighting. I want fireworks. I want it to get wild. Yeah.
I think that like what the plan is just what's going to happen. It might get a little bumpy along the way, but I unless Alyssa throws a wrench in it and really shakes things up. But I just feel like at this point, it's so unlikely that we're going to see anyone from the cookout go against the cookout before.
And I feel like all season we've been like, maybe this week, and then it's like no matter what happens, they're still like, no, cookout, and then we'll figure it out. So unless Alyssa ends up winning the double HOH, I don't know if I see it.
Yeah, I just feel like with the emotions that come with this game, and especially in this season with what this group is working towards, I just think that that's going to outweigh any sort of temptation of, should I take this shot now or should I wait? I think the overall mission of getting the cookout to that 6 is gonna carry the day. Honestly, I think the only way we see something different is if Alyssa wins and decides not to. Well, I guess if Alyssa wins, then
if Alyssa wins, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
a wrench has been thrown if Alyssa wins. So
right. Okay. Yeah. No. I know. That's what I know. I just really want it. I want it so bad. I'm so ready. I just cannot wait to get to Thursday. Because Thursday is when we really get into it. It's when we really get into it. And it'll be the first time that we truly have a cookout member like actually in danger.
Right.
I'm just ready for it. I just want to get into it. I keep thinking it's going to happen sooner. I know it won't. And part of me, as a Black man, is very happy that it won't. Like, good. That's great.
Of course. Yeah.
Damn it. I'm so ready.
The other thing is, we don't necessarily need, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we don't need an Alyssa HOH to shake things up. What we need is, if Alyssa doesn't win that HOH, she can win that veto. And then no matter what, there's two cookout members up.
You are absolutely right.
You're right.
So we do have a couple of shots.
And Alyssa's been doing great with vetoes lately, so
yes, she has.
It could happen.
Yes, she has. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Listen, I don't have anything else. I got anything else?
Oh, I'm sure we missed something because there's so much happening.
There's so much happening.
But
Matt's back.
Matt.
He says chaos if the cookout finds out X wants to throw HOH to Alyssa. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, could you imagine if it was one of those really bad throw jobs too? Like it's Xavier and Alyssa, they're the only two left.
Yeah, I want to see a really bad throw job.
Even let's say Alyssa,
like with Ozzy and Brittany.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Let's say that doesn't even happen. If people just get whispers that he's maybe like, if someone overhears him cam talking before we even get to the double, he could absolutely be a target before Alyssa because people are going to be like, all right, well, he's clearly not down for us, so like we can't trust him at all.
Yeah,
that's the chaos we want.
And who knows? Maybe if we get that Xavier's up there, if somebody hears something this week, that could change things.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. That's everything I want. Come on, please.
Yeah.
I would love to be going into the double, knowing that a cookout member already left. Like that would just be. Just so delicious. An L to the cookout, finally. It's so good. It'd be so good. Every other major alliance that we've ever seen has always taken some hits along the way, even if they still end victorious, and most of these larger alliances do. Like we always lose like at least one or two people along the way. this alliance, as fantastically as they've played, like I love that we haven't lost anybody, but I hate that we haven't lost anybody. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready because they haven't really. They've been fighting, but over nothing like significant.
Yeah.
Like just because Tiffany didn't feel like she got the proper good morning and the proper hello. Like that's not enough. Like I
She
feel
wasn't
like
offered
a
a
real
sandwich.
fight. Yeah, like we just were not agreeing. Like I need a real fight.
Has there ever really been a time? Because like we talked about like an alliance, a lot of people involved, so you're going to have people that disagree, that argue, but in the middle of those arguments, it makes it different when you're arguing with your alliance and you're actually in danger. Has anyone from the cookout actually been in any danger, any real danger at any point so far? Right? Like,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Not that I remember. No.
Like even when they've been on the block, like it's been like a sure thing, like that they were going to be okay. Like, so
it was never anything that any one of us ever like really worried about. Like, no.
It's going to be interesting to see.
The only time that someone had somebody in everybody's ear like, no, we should take out this person was when Hannah was up against Whitney. But like, she wasn't really in trouble because it was pretty much only Sarah Beth that was like, nah, I want Hannah out. Everyone else was like, all right, Sarah Beth, like, relax. But like, she wasn't like, as much as somebody was rooting against her, she didn't have the numbers to go.
Right.
No, and on top of that, like, depending on who you asked, Hannah wasn't even in the cookout at that point.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like,
That's true.
We're not worried about it. Yeah, like so
that's a fair point.
Yeah, so, like whatever. She got added way late. Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
We will see. We'll be back Wednesday at 9:30, and then Thursday at 9:30. I can't wait. This week's gonna be really, really crazy.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Listen, Matt, thanks for chiming in so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, hope to see you later in the week. Everybody else, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, all the same stuff. And this has been Jury Duty. Thanks a lot.